Welcome to the All Need Music Podcast. I'm Matt,
And I'm Jesse.
and we're here with Paul Sake tonight.
Thank you, guys.
So Paul is a songwriter. As a part-time gig, works a full-time job just like everybody else, but has taken up songwriting along the way, and had a chance to talk with Paul. That's been several months ago initially, and just found everything that he's doing really intriguing. You know, a lot of times you think you know a lot about the music world, and then you find out that you don't know shit. And, Paul's got some cool stuff going on. So, Paul, when we first started talking and you shared some music with me, you said, well, I don't sing. And I'm like, well, who the heck is singing this then? Because this is clearly a song, right? I'm not reading it, I'm hearing it. And you were telling me that you use a service for that. And that's super cool to me.
So, going back just real quickly, the first song I ever wrote, which was Montana Sky, literally 30 years ago in college. I have a theater performance minor, so I'm one of those people that pissed away money in college. Maybe it's a little bit of that creative blood, I guess. I could not to this day, tell you why I wrote a song. Decades went by before I wrote another one. And then I guess because I couldn't sing and I wasn't part of a band and I didn't think, well, this could be something I could still do as a career or do something professionally with it. I would just write things from time to time. And I would, at the time, give anything in the world to be able to hear it brought to life, because I cannot sing. So I finally wrote another song called My Mama, obviously about my mom. And I really liked it. And Mother's Day was coming up. And I went around Grand Rapids to some people that I knew just played here and there. Nobody had a studio. Nobody could really record it. And I literally stumbled across a website called Fiverr. It's Fiverr. And they provide services, or they make you available to freelance people in various industries. I mean, they can help you with all kinds of stuff. Well, one of those industries happened to be music. And they can help you in different aspects of that. Well, you can hire artists, I guess, just kind of like you would to go into a studio, so to speak. And these artists will record the song for you. You have to sign a waiver and agree that, hey, whatever lyrics I'm providing you are copywritten, they're your lyrics or my lyrics. Once it's created, I own the rights to the whole thing. That being said, and if anyone, this is a problem with society these days, people don't take the time to read bios. If anyone reads the bio on any of my pages, I am very specific and out there saying, hey, I wrote the lyrics. The song was just created and used as a vehicle for me to share. So I started off using Fiverr and had that first song recorded, and I gave that to my mom for Mother's Day.
Nice.
And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I tell you, I choked up to be able to hear it for the first time ever for real. It was a great experience. And problem is, as I went on with Fiverr, you got to pay no matter what, whether you like the outcome or not. You have very little input.
Okay.
And then you guys know who Jackson Dean is. As I'm trying, I'd have one song recorded and not like it, and then hire another person to record and not like that. Well, that starts to get super expensive. And all I'm trying to do is get something created. I'm on there one day and I see Jackson Dean pop up as an artist. I'm like, we'll get the hell out of here. It's one of my favorite.
No kidding.
And there's professionals on there. Well, I hired him to do a song, got the song back. And the minute I heard it, I'm like, that's not Jackson Dean. So that's when I found out. I got my money back on that one. But that's when I found out that a number of those artists on there charge you these hundreds of dollars and then just run your song or your lyrics through an AI program.
Oh, no way.
So that upset me a little bit, because I know the AI thing is a third rail. People don't fully understand it. But for me, it was, for me in the beginning, it was just an opportunity to hear the songs. That's all I really cared about. So being able to use Fiverr, use some of the programs online, again, just to create a vehicle or a means for which with which I can share the song.
Yeah.
The other thing too that really helped is because I don't know how to play a guitar, and if you ever look at a songwriter, even one that doesn't know how to sing, they'll sit down with a guitar and they just to strum it to get your cadence and get your rhythm and be able to balance out lines, which I surprisingly am pretty good at without a metronome or without a guitar. But what I've been able to do by using some of those services like Fiverr or some of the services online that I pay memberships for, so I own everything, is, and again, just like in a studio, I get a song done and then I could hear it back. And it's not been often, maybe once or twice, but a line has one too many syllables in it.
Okay.
So it doesn't, I could never hear it up here, but when it's sung back to me and played back to me, it allowed me to I needed to find a word that had the same meaning, but one less syllable.
Okay.
Or I had to take a word out completely because it wasn't flowing.
Right.
So those services give me that opportunity to use it as a tool like that. But again, whenever I share anything on any of my platforms or on Instagram or whatever, I do my very best to make sure to let people know all I really want you to pay attention to is the lyrics. Are the lyrics good? Do they tell a story? But dude, if I got online and I freaking recorded myself singing them, this is going to sound like hell. So it gives me a chance to share them with the real music and with and so forth. Like you said, you heard them and they sounded pretty damn good.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is we were just at a music festival this past weekend and was talking to a guy there that had written some songs, and he's got the chords for it and everything, but again, also not a singer, and he wanted to hear his music, and he utilized AI for that, where he put in his chords and his lyrics, and it gave him a product. I don't know that I'd call it a finished product necessarily, because it's AI, but that's kind of one of the cool things about this time that we're in right now. I guess it's kind of, I don't know, scary's the word, but slippery slope for sure.
Huge upside, massive downside.
Right.
But
right.
I think for a lot of people, and that's what really intrigued me the most when we first talked, was I've actually written a song and not done anything with it because I also couldn't sing to save my life. If you put me in front of a firing squad and said, sing me a song, make it sound good, and you can live,
you're still going to get shot.
I'm getting shot.
After the second note.
Right. So from that standpoint, those kind of things are really cool to me for the people that are maybe lyrically challenged, that can't do the songs themselves, but still, because that's where I'm at. That song that I've written, I would love for my mom to hear.
Yeah.
And that's it. Nobody else. I could care less if anyone else did. If it did and other people heard it and thought it was great, well, hell, even better. But really, that's not what it was written for. And so then all of a sudden, this Fiverr and these other AI kind of programs become intriguing to me, that like, well, this is an option then, to be able to come up with something to at least give to my mom and say, here you go.
And that's the thing is, so I get it. Like I get the fear and concern with things like that for artists, because you can go on and let the thing create the entire song. And that, that can be scary. And I don't know if you guys caught on the news a few weeks ago, there was this indie band on YouTube that garnered over 1 million followers.
Yeah, and all their songs were AI.
Yeah, so the guy, whoever created it, came out and said, "Hey, the whole thing, the band, the members, the music, everything's AI." And so I thought,
That's
damn
crazy.
it, that's wrong, because you misled people. There's a guy I follow on Instagram called Country J, Jai. So what he does is he combines the two. I'm singing it, my lyrics, I'm singing, but he uses the AI to create a cool video, better music. but he comes right out like, you know it up front. This is this is the part I do, and this is what I use AI for. So again, if it's up front, I get it. With me, like I said, and I appreciate when people ask, because I told you, I messaged you guys last week. I met a guy named Matthew Rose. He's starting a fledgling organization called Michigan Music Awards. And he wants to talk to you guys really bad. But so he met me, and the main reason he met me is he's got some artists that really like my lyrics, but they wanted to know how the music was made. And so but again, be honest about it. So, but I always believe in in-person conversations. Don't want to answer that stuff via email.
Right.
So we sat down, and after I explained it to him, he's like, okay, that makes sense. I said, I use it as a tool because it helps me hear back and see if I made a mistake or something needs to be changed. Number two, and this is just for me, I just want to hear the damn song. And it's so exciting because actually the one that I use, I have a lot of input. Like I can really change and create what I want. But I told him, I said, listen, what I wish people to understand is, yes, the music's created. Tell me if you like the lyrics. Because I'll be honest with you, man, like he already introduced me to an artist that does demos. And the guy asked me, what's your goal? I said, I maybe this sounds a little cocky, but I want my songs on the radio. I think the lyrics are that good, and he said, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I listened to a couple of them. And I'm pretty impressed. And then one thing I did learn is they did tell me, they said, believe it or not, a lot of songwriters can't sing, but they can play a guitar. And he goes, they'll actually they'll go to a studio so it sounds a little better, but they'll sit there. They're no singing ass will sit there with a guitar and still just record their lyrics and send that in because the artists and the labels know what they're looking for.
Right.
I'm like, okay, well, that's a lesson learned. Like, I didn't know that. I still don't want to play guitar. For me, it was just, like I said, trying to as best I can create the best version of my song that was as close to how I feel it in my heart and hear it in my head. That was my original goal with all of it, just to create something that was close.
Yeah.
So when you send your lyrics to this Fiverr, you don't send any chords or anything like that?
It can be at any different level.
Okay.
For me, it was literally just lyrics and then as many notes as I could. And I would send my recording in of me singing it because I wanted to at least get some idea
of how you want it.
Now, some of them were similar. Some of them, I told the guys, you guys are the professionals. You're the artists.
Sure.
So run with it.
Okay.
And again, even with the ones I've created online. So the service that I use, if you pay for it, you have to sign a waiver again that you're copywritten lyrics, obviously for copyright protection and for legal purposes. And then if you pay for it, anything that I create, I technically own. I could monetize everything. I could claim if I wanted to that it was all mine, but that would be wrong in a sense. That'd be like the group, the indie group on YouTube. So again, I'm clear in everything that I share. Hey, it's the lyrics. I want you to listen to lyrics. Tell me if they tell a story to you.
But these are on Fiverr. It's real people that are actually singing it, not like an AI that takes somebody's voice. Well, obviously they did that with the Jackson Dean on you, but for the most part, it's all real people.
And it depends. You can hire people to sing it a cappella. You can ask them. I want a guitar, a fiddle, and a piano.
Oh, nice.
Whatever. The more, again, the upsell, the more instruments that you want, the more the cost is. But you can have it set up however you want, and then they'll take, usually 5 to 7 days and present something to you.
Okay.
If you don't like it, you're still going to buy it. But if you don't like it, you can say, hey, I need this changed. I need that changed. The one main problem I had with the one guy I used often, he was really melancholy. So the darn songs were just long. I got some of them cut down by almost an entire minute, which is what you need for the radio.
Right.
To be on the radio. You can't have a 5-minute song.
Right.
There are some, but it's not popular.
Right. Nobody wants to sit there for that long and listen when it's like next song.
Unless it's the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, then I'll
there you go.
On there too, Jesse, because I just kind of looked around at it after Paul first told me about it, because I had never even heard of it before. If you want to pony up a little cash, you can actually hire somebody to edit the podcast that doesn't suck at it.
Now you can, and this is where I think you cross the line a little bit. Well, I guess it depends on what you do with it. Let me rephrase that. You can literally just tell them, hey, this is what I want the song about.
Yeah.
We'll actually write the song for you. And again, if you're doing it for someone like me, where I'm, well, not like me, because I actually want to do something, but I guess if you were trying to create something for your mom for Mother's Day, or your dad for Father, or your wife, then it's totally fine. Right. You know, hey, I want you to write this song. These are some things about my wife. This is some things about my marriage. Write me a song that I can give her on my anniversary. Then it's that, in that aspect, it's completely legit. Just don't try to take credit for,
right.
creating the song.
Write it, you didn't sing it. It's somebody else doing it. But yeah.
I forgot my ring on my anniversary.
Sounds like a good song.
Oh, look, he wants to kill me right now.
Man,
I didn't though on that, Matt. It was in my bag. It was just in the bag I wasn't looking in.
Give you the look.
So their anniversary was this last weekend, and Jesse ended up a little bit in the dog. See, he's still sweating. He's like, whew. Ended up a little in the doghouse.
He's still wiping his head. So it must be some fresh memories.
I think it wasn't as bad. I wasn't in the doghouse as much for forgetting it. It was more that Matt drug us to a music festival on our anniversary. And so, she was more upset about that.
Music Festival.
Which one?
The Sunrise Side Music Festival over in Lincoln.
Okay.
Which was a town that we had never heard of, so I don't anticipate you've ever heard of Lincoln either.
No.
We were down in Nashville back in June, hanging out with some guys that we know, Boomtown Saints, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna be back up in your neck of the woods soon." And I'm like, "Where's that at?" And I said, "I haven't seen anything around us." And he says, "It's in Lincoln." And I said, "Where the hell's Lincoln at?" He said, "It's up north by you guys." I said, "It ain't up north by me. I've never heard of it." I had to get out Google Maps, and it's on the east side of the state. I'm in Petoskey, and so it's just south of Alpena.
Beautiful.
But I'll tell you what, kick-ass music festival. We had a blast.
Minus that it was 94 degrees in the middle.
So there's one. It's not a music festival. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying it was like 94 degrees. Oh, we must be on a little lag here.
I think we got a little bit of a delay there. Yeah, there is.
You go.
No, I was just going to say there's a festival coming up in a couple weeks down in Muskegon. It's not a music festival. They have live music there, but it's called the Burning Foot Festival. It's actually a craft beer festival that's right down on Pierre Marquette, right next to the deck. One of the coolest festivals I've ever been to. You've got craft beer breweries from surrounding states. First time I went there a few years ago, Filter was there, and I'm a big 90s alternative music fan. Nice. So when he started playing Nice Shot, I'm like, you got to get the hell out of here. I didn't even really realize who was playing. And it's like, they had a few of the biggest 90s alt music bands, and that was to me, the best era, the golden age of alternative music.
Yeah.
But that's a fun one. I need to try to make it up to the Hoxaville Music Festival. One of these years. That's where Billy Strings was discovered. And my older brother and his kids are big into music. They live out in Cabernet, so they go to it every year.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
But I've heard that's a great festival.
That's one that I've not been to yet, but it seems like there's so much music to try and take in so many places, and not everybody in my circle likes to go to concerts as often as me, namely my wife, followed closely by Jesse's wife. Because if it was up to me, we'd be going to concerts every weekend.
Really? See,
I would have 100%. And back to kind of the AI thing, that's the one thing where AI doesn't scare me, because I love live music so much. AI can't do that. So as much as AI can do, it can never replace an actual artist, because there's so many people like me that are hungry for live music that AI just can't do that. So I'm not going to go sit and watch like a teleprompter and AI sing to me. I want to see the artists perform. I want to feel their energy on the stage and all of those things. So that's the part of me where I'm like, I'm not really worried about AI doing anything.
So I'm just well, I like concerts also, but my wife is huge into it. There's times I'm like, gosh dang it, we got another, like she'll text, hey, guess what? Thursday we're going such and such concert. She's huge into that. She loves it. And she makes them more fun for me. And I'll talk her up a little bit. One of those human beings that just really has fun and enjoys things. And I mean, there have been times I've been at concerts and I'll just sit down to take a break for a minute and just look back because she'll be up and she's moving it and just watching her enjoy it. But I've went to more concerts in the 3 years that I've known her than the rest of my life. I mean, I used to go to a lot, but I mean, since I've met her, we got Brother Elsie coming up in a couple weeks. It's a fantastic band, live in Nashville, but they're from Michigan. And then, Zach Bryan in September.
Yep.
With John Mayer.
Yep.
And then Eric Church and Marcus King in October, which should be a pretty fan. Yeah, have you ever seen Marcus King live?
I have not. We missed him at CMA Fest. He was on my list, and we just had so much shit going on down there that ended up missing him. I hope he's not listening. I can't. So I listened to him. I saw him open for Chris Stapleton once, and this guy. So I try to listen to him on the radio. It's just not my style of country music to listen to like on the regular. Plus, he's different on the live. Very few people will entertain you with an electric guitar,
right?
And he's old school. It's a plug-in.
Yep.
But I tell you what, man, that dude on a guitar live is probably one of the best entertainers. I could watch him all night. So knowing that I'm going to see him live, again, I'm looking forward to it because just on the guitar, he's insane.
Yeah.
Blown away.
Yeah, he's one of those that we didn't get to see him down there at the CMA Fest, but when we watched the recap of it, I was like, man, I wish we would have seen him because he sounds so good live. And then you try to listen to him on like Spotify or whatever, and it's just like it's just not the same.
Bluegrass, jazz, I don't know what it really is, but it's not anything I could listen. Same thing with Billy Strings, man. We went and saw him a couple months ago. My brother, my older brother, they kind of know him a little bit. And they've seen him 20 times. Went and saw that concert. That kid is just dripping talent. Dripping talent. But I couldn't listen to that music necessarily in the car a whole lot, the Picker Bluegrass. But I tell you what, it's one of the best concerts that kid blew me away. And there's some videos of his on YouTube that you can watch back when he was a kid in his little podunk town and, where he grew up. And God just blessed him. Every ounce of him is full of talent. Just a great concert to go to and watch. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and I like the Marcus King style, and I can and do listen to that. And someone else, I don't know if you know Cassius Culpepper.
See, it sounds familiar.
So he's similar in that sense where it's some country, it's some blues, it's some Southern rock. It's kind of this molded creation of like all kinds of things in one. And I love that kind of stuff when it's outside of the box because so much anymore in especially mainstream country is like, oh, this sounds like this and this sounds like that. And so for me, I love to hear something that's a little more unique and different. And so it's like, oh, let me shut off the radio and let me just go find somebody new and hear something that I haven't quite heard before.
Yeah. So that you led me into a transition because that was a point I wanted to get to first. And, somebody in my position is in no position to really critique a whole hell of a lot because God bless the people that are successful and on the radio and gather music. But, I used to really be into country. And obviously based on my age, I'm 53. When someone says, who got you into country? I think 90% of the people my age are going to say Garth Brooks. Just getting out of high school, I graduated in 90. So right around No Fences, and Rodeo. And I mean, until Luke Combs came along, I mean, I think he finally took Garth's record on the top 40 away. But so big Garth Brooks fan, big 90s country fan, Brooks and Dunn, Alan Jackson, Dwight Yoakam, all those. And then I will be honest with you, man, for the longest time, I did not hardly listen to any country. And again, I'll always preface this, my personal taste, to pop. This is not country. This is pop country. Now, I get it from a business point of view that appeals to more people, because it's not true country. So you're going to get those, those outliers that want to be country for the day or whatever, but not completely. And so this is going to blow your mind a little bit because you guys, into this scene so much more. So my wife, before we met, had already bought tickets to see Luke Combs, right? So we get together, and we're going to go. And I'll still remember the look on her face to this day. She's like, I go, okay, so who's Luke Combs? And she says, what? And I'm like, who's Luke Combs? And she goes, I go, I'm telling you, Amy, I have not listened. I gave up on it. I turned the radio on and I just hear pop country after pop country. And so I just gave up on it. And she's like, you write and you don't, I'm like, don't know who he is, and I went down into the concert. It was him, Lainey Wilson, Duckman. And I came back rejuvenated when it came to country. Massive Chris Stapleton fan, probably my favorite. But yeah, I mean, I got out of it to such an extent that I didn't know the one as big as Morgan Wallen is. Luke Combs is hunting Garth Brooks down on every category. I mean, he's hunting him down. He's that big, and I did not know who he was. She's got me back into listening. Of course, now I'm more encouraged with my songs to listen because I want to listen to styles. I want to listen to how different people sing songs. I want to listen to, and I have a list. There are people, maybe I'm shooting high, but there are a couple particular artists that I have in mind for particular songs that I've written. That's written for that. I didn't write them for that person, but fits this person to a T. But now, I mean, gosh, Zach Bryan. Maybe I'm shooting high, but there are a couple. Luke Combs. I mean, we're at concerts throughout the entire summer. Dierks Bentley, fantastic concert.
Yeah.
I think it was with Chase Rice. Oh, that was with Ella Lang. I think she opened for Dirk when he was in Grand Rapids last year. Tim McGraw when he was in town. So he's got me back, or she's got me back into it. And again, because some of my songs kind of had a certain style to them because I wrote them when I was down or wrote them after making a mistake. So if you go and listen to my songs, I have a song called Summertime Sun, which is, again, when I hear it, when you say, who should sing that? Luke Bryan. Because Luke Bryan sings, he's not cheesy. He's not, I think he knows what type of music he sings and creates. And it's just that fun, it's that fun party type music. So Summertime Sun is completely it's fun. Mm-hmm. Country Boy is just a little cocky. I wrote that song when I thought of A Boy Named Sue. There's no chorus. It's entirely, it's just a straight, you tell a story. There is no chorus. So I wanted to try to write something like that. So Country Boy is about a cocky little rodeo legend. Mm-hmm. So I've tried to try different, different styles or have different subjects. I don't sit around thinking about what to write about. If I do that, I come up with dumb shit. I will literally, I swear to God, I just did one actually. I've gotten a huge feedback. Two Wheels Over 4. I'm a motorcycle rider.
Yep.
And 2 years over, I wanted to always write a song about motorcycles, but if I think about it, I can't write it. I'm forcing it.
Right.
And man, I tell you, so on my way to work one day on my motorcycle, I started writing the song in my head. Got to work, so don't forget to write it down. Don't forget to write it down. Don't forget to write it down. My other manager was off on Tuesday, so it was just me. Forgot. End of the day, it hit me. I'm like, son of a. I couldn't remember. I could remember lines. I could not remember the damn style of the song. I was so mad. So the next morning on the way to work, I remembered certain lines. I said, just screw it. Just write what you can with what you remember. Never been able to write a song in one day. On my 55 minutes, I got into work. My brother's the general manager. He went to say, I said, hold up. I got my laptop. I go, whoa, I have to type this in. I have to, because I got it down. I got the whole thing. Never been able to do that before. And I tell you what, dude, I don't know if you've listened to it. That's a kick-ass song.
Yeah.
It's a super cool song about riding motorcycles.
Yep.
And my older brother, neither of my brothers are the type of family members that will pat you on the back just because you're family. I either won't get a response at all because they don't particularly like that one, or I'll get some. And my older brother and his family are huge into music. And I sent him that, and he listened to. He went and saw War and Treaty at Interlaken. And when he got back, he said, "Man, I just listened to your song." He said, "That's I think for me the best one you've written. And these are the artists you need to try." And he's all of a sudden I'm getting hit with 3 or 4 different artists on Spotify. If any way you can get it to this guy, if there's any way you can get it to that guy. But
nice.
It's been fun, and because of the feedback I've gotten, it's encouraging. Like now I want to again, I don't try to write because I can't then, but I'm more encouraged now, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. The downside is, and I thought that would be a little different with the country industry because there was supposed to be a little bit more hometown and friends and family related. I can't get anyone of him. And I don't say, when I say importance, everyone's important, but I can't get anyone industry wise to take the time to listen. And I'm like, I tell them, listen, because I message the hell out of them on Instagram. I don't care. They can block me. I'll message Chris Christopherson landed a helicopter in Johnny Cash's front yard to get known.
Right.
So I ain't going to that extreme, but I tell him, man, just do right. Listen to a song. Tell me it's no good. And then I'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
Tell me it's no good.
Yeah.
So I do have a DJ friend of mine from the Bull up in Cadillac that's trying, but he's having a hard. Like I said, the reps that he knows, they just get busy, and it's trying. He goes, I don't want to push too much, but he's trying. This Matthew guy that I met is really intrigued, and he introduced me to a musician from Michigan. That is going to try to get me into a studio free of charge because he wants me there. He goes, I want you to have artistic input. Right. I want you to listen to it and you help me. You be there and you hand out. He goes, if we can make good. He goes, I'll help you. I'll help you market them. Nice. And he's got connections in Nashville, so we'll see. And understand that's going to mean you cut them into some. Well, that's how the business works.
Sure.
You're going to write the music for me, so you're going to be part of it. But right. I just, listen, and if it's no good, tell me and I'll take it like a man. But I think my lyrics are pretty damn good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I would say is regardless of, because the music industry sucks. Right? Yeah. It doesn't matter. A lot of horror stories. It doesn't matter what genre, it just sucks. Yeah. And it tends to bring kind of the shittiest people
out of people.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, but at the same time, if you look at songs, over time, right? If you look at, you like Chris Stapleton, you look at Tennessee Whiskey. All right. I don't know if you know who recorded Tennessee Whiskey first, but it wasn't Stapleton. That was the third time of it coming around, and it did better than anything else. And one of the songwriters had since passed, never got to hear that version of it or see it go to number one because it had never gone to number one before. Or you look at Jason Aldean did Dirt Road Anthem, which Colt Ford and Brantley Gilbert had done before, which I would actually argue is the better version of the two songs.
Oh, yeah.
But that song never went nearly as far with Brantley Gilbert and Colt Ford as Aldean doing it and taking it to number one. So even if you can't get, that Luke Bryan to do the song, if you can get somebody else to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Then maybe Luke Bryan hears it and says, oh, I want to cut that song too.
Right.
And, sometimes it's a matter of not knocking on doors, but, hey, I knocked on that door, they didn't answer, but the neighbor did. And now the neighbor's going to put it on and then they get to hear all about it.
Right. Well, and you guys, so this is a perfect example of that happening. Just having the opportunity to do this. This is an opportunity I have. Well, for one, none of this was anything that I had planned in the first place, but like you guys giving me the opportunity, the other podcast I was on giving me the opportunity, Matthew Rose. He lives in Detroit. He was willing to come this way. I live in Grand Rapids. I said, absolutely not. No way on earth. You're doing me a favor. You're doing something for me.
Right.
I drove over to Detroit. He said, well, Lansing. I said, nope, I'm coming to Detroit. You're not going out of your. So those doors have opened. And again, with Matthew, within being gone from that meeting 10 minutes, he was already calling me. Hey, Paul, I got Brian on the line with you. Brian Stewart, I think is his name. Guys, we've been gone 5 minutes or 10 minutes from the concert, from the meeting, and he's already got me on a 3-way with an artist. So in what I've tried, I think it's a little bit of a self-serving Facebook page, but Michigan Country Music. But even when I've posted anything on there, or when I talked on the other podcast, or I'll even say it here, like I mention those big names, of course.
Yeah.
Those are your goals and your dreams. But like you just said, man, I would love to find some up and coming artists in the state of Michigan. There's a lot of good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they all can't write music or write their own music. A lot of artists don't. Garth Brooks didn't write a single one of his songs. But I would love to get with, anyone that's out there performing, which I wish I could do.
Yeah.
So would love to, through this podcast or with Matthew or anyone, if you know any up and coming local or Michigan based artists, and they go onto my pages and listen to my songs, and any of them they like, man, let's give it a try. That would be awesome. You are 100% right. It could start down here and somebody hears it and wants to run with it. Absolutely.
Have you ever done any writing with anybody else or no?
No. Again, like I said, I hate to sound like a broken record, but this is all extremely new to me.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. I went from writing a song to not writing one for decades, to not writing one for months and years, to where I wrote my wife, my dogs, my family, my stories, which is personally, I think, my favorite, because my stories is about songwriters write songs to tell their stories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the gist of what is it says, I write songs to tell my stories I tell my stories by writing songs to keep them alive when I'm dead and gone. So I love that song because that's what it's about. What do you write songs about? So no, I've not written with anyone. I would love to, for these two reasons. I have a handful of songs that I can't finish. I have no idea why. Like, how can I write all these? And then I've got 4 or 5 songs that for the life of me, I can't finish.
Just stuck.
And vice versa. I bet there are artists out there. What if, we sat down and maybe a guy gives me one friggin' line. One line. Boom, I'm gone.
Right.
I just needed that. I needed to get unstuck. Or I could write with some songwriters or some lyricists that are in the same position. I got this song, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I listen to it. I'm like, and then we just get going. Plus in writing with other people, it's just, again, you're creating a bigger network.
Yep.
You're expanding your network. You're expanding your connections. Maybe they know someone that I don't, or they know someone that knows someone.
Right.
So all of those opportunities, I'm open to, and hoping through doing stuff like this, to get the opportunity to do, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, we go to a lot of writers rounds and, get the backstory on a lot of the music that we hear, which is really cool to hear the backstory. And that's why we wanted to have you on and everything to, kind of, hear how the writing starts. But there's a lot of those artists out there. We were just down in Nashville and went to a writers round that Ernest put on. And Ernest is best friends with Hardy and Morgan Wallen. And, that's kind of how Hardy got his start, was writing songs for everybody else. He didn't think he could sing. But Ernest was talking about how you might have one verse of a song, but you don't know what to do with it. And he would get together with Hardy or Morgan, and this person, Hardy had a chorus, but he didn't have a verse. And all of a sudden, he sings them, hey, what do you think about this chorus? And then, well, what do you think about this verse? And then boom, next thing you know, they're half hour later, we had a hit song,
Yeah.
So
that just sounds cool. That just sounds so much fun.
Right.
I mean, to be able to be in that environment and to try that stuff, because again, sometimes that's all it takes. I mean, somebody spits something out at you, and that gets you unstuck, or vice versa. It's hard at 53 to pack up your tent you can't at 53. And I'm also not 53 set for retirement. So I'm fortunate to have the job I have, but I got it late in life. I had a very down time in my life where I got way behind the 8 ball. So I can't just, pack up, move to Nashville. Some of my friends have asked, you got to get down there. The music. I'm like, yeah, it's not going to happen.
Right. I'm not 25.
We are going down to Nashville for my birthday in October, and I want to try to make it to some of those or see if some are going on. And then also, Matthew told me to do it. I've had other people tell, hey, you learn 6 chords on a guitar, and you can play 100 songs. Again, I bring up my older brother again. He's got 2 identical twin boys and a dog. They're all musically inclined as far as instruments. My 2 nephews can play 5 instruments apiece. And, so I'm left-handed, so I got to find a left-handed one. Or my one nephew said you just put the chords upside down and turn it into a left-handed guitar. But I do want to find time to do that. Because one guy that I talked to that was an artist, he asked me, he said, hey, if you can't strum a guitar, do you use a metronome? I'm like, what? And he's, the little thing goes back and forth. I'm like, no, why? He goes, how do you get your cadence? How do you get your rhythm? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just what comes. So he goes, I got to pat you on the back for just that, because any songwriter you see will sit down and they have to strum a chord, or they've got to listen to that metronome and watch it, because that helps them create their cadence. Yeah. And I'm like, well, he's like, so hats off to you that you can do all that in your head, 99.9% of the time. And like I said, if I create a song and hear it back, I'll hear my miscues. But he said, you know what, though, if you do that well with it, just learn how to play a guitar, even if you can't sing. Learn how to play a guitar. He goes, 6 chords, dude, and you can sing you can play 100 songs. Just 6 chords.
Yeah.
So I am trying to find the guitar. I'm not going to spend $300 on a guitar. So I'm just trying to find a nice used one and learn that and see if that does help, because again, with the songs I've written. So I've got a Spotify page. I've got a YouTube page. I've got a SoundCloud page, and I've got a lot. So SoundCloud's algorithm is set up to help no names. That's what it's for. You'll find a lot of nobodies on there. You'll find a lot. So I'm up to I've only been on there for 6 months. I'm closing in on 23,000 views, and that's just as a songwriter. Right. YouTube, I'm up to around 600 or 700. Spotify could care less about nobody. So I've got a few listens on there, but their algorithm is set up for Hardy, for Morgan Wallen, Eldine. They could care less about me. But I love getting the likes. I respond to every one of them. I'll thank them. Every single person that likes a song, I thank them. But I think so. It's been encouraging. But I think learning a guitar would be, take it maybe to that next level. And then maybe I'll have the courage to record myself doing it and seeing if I can send that anywhere.
Yeah.
And if it helps at all.
Well, when you go to Nashville, there's some great locations. The Listening Room is a great location. Third and Lindsay is a great location for songwriters. And getting to do those songwriter showcases and hearing the stories behind the songs and getting to meet with other songwriters that might be able to point you in the right direction. I would say here in Michigan, Drew Hale, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's out of Traverse City. Go ahead and write him down.
Yeah, no, I
was Drew's a friend of ours, was actually the first artist we ever had on the podcast. And Drew is incredible, and he's a great songwriter. And I know that he's taught songwriting before too. So he would probably be a really good connection to make in Michigan, just to bounce ideas off of and things like that. Super good dude, hell of a voice. He was, what was that? 2023.
Lainey Wilson's.
Yeah, he was a Tractor Supply Emerging Artist of the Year and got to play CMA Fest and had Lainey Wilson as a mentor for a period of time from winning that. But super, super good dude. But yeah, there's a lot of great talent right here in the state. And for me, I've always loved the songwriting side of things. Like my goal one day is to actually record a podcast during a writer's retreat, because these writers get together, they take off and go somewhere and do a writer's retreat. And I want to go there and I want to film it, and I want to be behind the scenes and like having conversation, not interrupt them, and obviously wait, probably a period of 6 months to a year to put it out so it doesn't mess with their songwriting stuff. But just to be able to share that side of it, because I've always wanted to just be a fly on the wall at a writer's retreat. And I know there's other music junkies like me that want to see that side of music.
Did you see, is it Bike Riders, the movie that was out with Tom Hardy last year? Okay. Yep. So the guy that the book that was based on was a photographer that spent like 1 or 2 years. And I know that he out of fear. So that's all true, but the name of the gang is changed. Everyone knows who it is, but everything's changed. But at the end of the movie, it shows him with all the pictures, like real pictures of him with everyone. So kind of something like that, I think would be very cool if you had the opportunity, if you could go over an extended period of time if it's just one retreat, or if you're able to bounce around with different writing retreats or writing groups and do the same, like sit in the background, take notes, film things, do a kind of a documentary. I think that would be pretty kick ass.
Yeah. I would love that. I would quit my job for that tomorrow.
It exposes, people that write music they're not out there. They're not in the spotlight. If you're good enough, your name might be mentioned here and there, but nobody really knows who you are, but the lyrics are the soul of, granted, who sings it? Like you were saying earlier, one guy could sing it and it never goes anywhere. Another guy sings it. There's this one songwriter that I went back and forth, or didn't go back, talk to one time off Instagram. And, he's like, doesn't matter who sings it. If it's not, I'm like, that's not true. There's a lot of music on the radio right now. The lyrics suck, but they're top hits,
right?
Or vice versa. So, you get somebody the right person to sing your song or sing a song that make a difference on it. But to me, songwriting or the lyrics are the soul, the heart and soul of a song.
Yeah.
The better the lyrics are in the right hands, the better the song. So giving these guys an opportunity to be on a documentary like that, I'm sure it's not the first time, but I think that'd be really cool. Give them a chance to be the spotlight or to be the center and to see what goes into write. Because again, you do have a lot of singer-songwriters, but you have a lot of artists. I think there's actually a lot of singer-songwriters that still have some songs they don't sing, they don't write. Even some of the best of them.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've got a poster over here on the wall. My podcast studio's a lot like your office, except for mine's all music. Instead of really terrible number 23 jerseys. Had to get that one in.
Yeah.
But when we were in Nashville, Jesse had said we went to this songwriter story jam with Ernest, and one of the people that was there was Ashley Gorley. And Ashley Gorley, we had a big group of friends that we were going down with, and I'm like, holy shit, Ashley Gorley, like, that's some shit. And they're like, who? And I'm like, the dude has literally like either 83 or 86 number one 86 songs that he's written.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it's crazy to me because I'm a music junkie that I know that.
Yeah.
And other people are like, oh, I heard this song. That song was good that so-and-so did. I'm like, well, they didn't do that. Ashley Gorley did that.
Yeah.
So I love the songwriting side of things. And they really are. Songwriters are the unsung heroes. And, the nice thing about someone like Ashley Gorley with that many number one songs is he can just sit at home and cash checks. He doesn't have to go tour to make his money.
Right.
So
one of my favorite artists of the day, which again is pretty common, is I'm a big Cody Johnson fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So are we.
Granted, I've never opened an album up, but I know like a lot of his songs he didn't write.
Yep.
I'm sure he has some that he has or co-written. I know the one that got really big. I love so many of his songs, and there so many more of them have more. The Dirt Cheap one, hit it big, and it's funny because I'm like, man, but he's got so many other songs that to me have more depth and meaning to them. But I know I followed the guy that wrote that song for the longest time on Instagram until that song took off.
Yep.
And then everything went like you have to know him now to
Right,
follow
right.
him on Instagram. But I thought that was pretty neat. That was the first song that kid, he worked at one of these, I call them songwriting mills. And but you've got these labels and that's again, like what kind of hate is they won't let you in. They've got their group of songwriters and they want everything produced by them or no one else. But I know like when I was following that guy, Josh, I can't think of his name, but Josh, I think something, but that was the first song that he ever wrote by himself. That he got that became, so he collaborated with most of them and that was his own song.
Yep.
And Cody Johnson, took it running.
Well, he won the CMA award this last year for it. Yeah. Yep. We did a recap on that after he won it, and that was something that I was talking about. And Matt's always talking about, loves the backstory, and I love the backstory too. But when I hear a song, there's so many times that I'm just like, I'm sitting here pitching Cody Johnson, sitting there watching, under the oak tree with his dog and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was like, he totally wrote that. But then I'm like, no, he had nothing to do with writing that. That was somebody else's experience or song. And it's like, there's so many times that I have to like step back where I'm just like, I think that they write that, but a lot of them don't have, they might have a little, they're sitting there and maybe tweak one word or something like that. But
I was disappointed there was no Faster Horses this year, but I went the 2 previous years and I'd never really seen Cody Johnson before until I saw. So I got fortunate. So what was it? The last year was Cody Johnson, Jelly Roll, and Hardy. I think was all the same year.
Yep.
But I love, as much as I love the music, that's such a fan oriented festival that you get to hear a lot of their. So here's funny too. So Hardy was on Sunday, and I had all but banished him into the pop country bucket, for a while. Okay. I loved a lot of his songs, and then woke up on the wrong side of the truck bed, came out. I'm like, bleh. That's canned music. So I almost did not stay for him. Because again, I live in Grand Rapids, a long drive. I told my wife, get up on Sunday, we're going home. And I ended up staying. And I tell you what, man, I am sold on Hardy now.
Rock and roll, baby.
When he came out, that 3-minute little monologue or whatever you want to call it, you can't help but your blood's going 100 miles an hour. Hold on, I didn't plug my computer in. Hold on a second. I forgot to plug it in. It's giving me the going dead thing.
Yeah, so real quick while you're doing that, it was Josh Phillips that wrote.
Man, I kept wondering why my screen was getting dimmer and dimmer. But, he came out with that, and then I watched this kid up on stage, and he's a little nerdy, and I said, I watched him like that. There's having the time of his life. He's having fun, dude. He's up there. He probably doesn't realize that he even should be there. Right. Like he's not clean cut. He's not polished. And he had the absolute time of his life up there. And I thought this is one of the best entertainers I've ever watched, hands down. Now I listen to him a lot when I'm in the gym, and because I write lyrics now, or I'm getting more into it, I listen to his lyrics. And he might not necessarily have the most in-depth, like heartfelt songs. He's a damn good friggin' lyricist.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you listen to his songs, he tells stories, and he's damn good at rhyming. He's damn Rednecker Than You is one of the Rednecker Than Me or whatever it is. I freaking love that song. Yeah. But it's just a fun song. Or Cody Johnson. Well, someone wrote on that damn notepad or a piece of napkin to him, quit.
Yep.
To Hardy, quit. And I wish I was him, though, where I could say, screw all of you. If you don't want my songs, I'm going to go perform them myself. He's got that extra gift. But even like Cody Johnson, when he was there, and he said, he would go in for interviews with labels, and they wanted to change him. Can you get rid of the hat? Can you sing more about this? Can you sing more about that? And he's like, hey, thank you for the interview. Boom, I'm doing me.
Yep.
One of the main reasons I've tried to reach out to him is he's an ex-rodeo guy. Matter of fact, he's at Kojo out now, which is this rodeo, marketing thing or whatever. But he's an ex-rodeo guy, so Country Boy would be perfect for him, or Cowboy Up, which I friggin' love. And it's about you cowboy up. If things are going bad in your life, you cowboy up.
Yep.
So I picture him a lot, but I like the story that someone told him, you got to change, or you can't. I keep getting pop-ups. You got to change, or you're not going to make it or quit, or, Jelly Roll. I mean, he went in prison, and, maybe he's not, who knows how long he'll go, but he's having the time of his life. He's blessed. He's happy. He's a pretty damn good lyricist himself. So those are inspirational, motivating stories, where you got three guys. Well, Cody's maybe a little clean cut a little bit, but you got three guys that don't fit, fit, and they're at the top of their game.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. But I fall in love. I think Hardy's. I'm going to see Brother Elsie on the same night that Hardy's here, and that was very difficult. Very difficult, because I want to see a whole Hardy show. But I saw my niece is married into the family that owns Coyote Crossing up near Cabernet.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, if you ever get down that way, it's a fantastic snowmobile lodge. But they do a summer concert series. It's all country.
I wanted to get there a couple weeks ago.
I went and saw. They got Warren Treaty to freaking play there. They met Warren Treaty when they're at the Hoxsville Music Festival and were nobodies. And got them to promise to do, and I'll be damned. I just saw them open up for Chris Stapleton, and my brother's like, "Hey, this is who I got to see: Clint Park, Brother Elsie, and Warren Treaty at frickin' Coyote Crossing with like 100 people."
Yep.
It was amazing. But I tell you, brother, they're from Grand Rapids in Detroit. They're all brothers. And we saw them up there, fell in love with them. Their music's fantastic. They came to the Pyramid Scheme in Grand Rapids 2 years in a row, the last 2 years. And they're finally cut their first album, and they're at the intersection. And that's always a step up. You make it to the intersection. That's, So I'm like, can't believe I'm not going to Hardy, but we followed them. My wife loves them. And I'm like, you know what? We've been supporting them since we saw them up at Coyote Crossing. And we're going to go. I'll see Hardy at some point. But maybe one day we'll share lyrics. But I got to go see Brother Elsie, man. They're fantastic kids.
Nice.
Yeah, I was bummed. I'm not going to see Hardy this go around. I've seen him a few times before. I'm actually more bummed, not about missing Hardy, but I really want to see Stephen Wilson Jr. And he's on tour with Hardy, and the dude is absolutely phenomenal. So that one's like, oh God dang it, I can't go. Yeah. But missing Hardy ain't the end of the world, because I think I've seen Hardy 3 or 4 times now. So like missing Hardy's not a huge deal. But Stephen Wilson Jr., I was looking, well, where else is he? He's playing at a place in Indiana that I might go still catch him yet this year. We'll see.
I've never seen Eric Church. My wife is a huge, and I know he's massive. I just have never personally seen him. So I'm looking forward to that. I've seen Zach Bryan before. That's going to be a great concert, because the first concert ever at the Big House.
Yep.
I wish he would stop doing the dumb shit he's doing in his personal life. It's like, dude, what are you like? You got a $300 million contract, so I guess you can do what you want. But the whole thing with the police officers, and then whatever mess you got in with your girlfriend, and then you get an argument with a 14-year-old kid over an autograph online.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you went on and you just burnt a Barstool Sports flag because your girlfriend works there.
Right.
It's like, dude, what are you doing, man? I mean, you talk about talent. The dude's a Navy guy that used to sing songs on a freaking submarine or ship, and his fellow seamen, they're like, hey, you're pretty damn good at that. He's a YouTube star, basically,
Oh yeah.
Fantastic lyricist, but it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, the first live show he ever did was for 10,000 people. Never played a bar or anything before that.
Right.
Literally, I'm going to go do a live show, and it's going to be 10,000 people.
Yeah.
So my brother Bobby was telling me about Billy Strings, and they would see him up at Hoxsville, and Bob's like, yeah, he literally was. Because even though they live up there in Cabernet, they'll still go make a weekend of it and stay out there and camp. He's like, yeah, dude was right over there in a tent. Like he lives in a tent, or he was in his car.
Yep.
And then we would go up to Traverse City and watch him, because he got a DUI up there, so he couldn't leave for a while. They had a tether. He goes, we go up there and watch these on a freaking street corner.
Yeah.
And then he actually played at Coyote Crossing once inside during the winter for $500. And now look at them.
Right.
So yeah, if you never played anything, and then you're right in front of, 10,000 people.
Right. A little nerve-wracking.
I saw him at Van Andel a couple years ago, and I am still looking forward to going and see him. I'm like, come on, dude. grow up a little teeny bit,
right?
Personal stuff, because you don't have private personal lives anymore.
No.
You don't. So, and then what's the other thing? He's having a beef with the Kansas City Chiefs fans.
Yeah.
He's never going to play at Kansas City again. I'm like,
right.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I think he's trying to do that like outlaw country thing, like Gavin Adcock, but he's failing miserably at it. It's just he's doing the dumb shit that he should.
Well, yeah, you're not just being an outlaw or bad boy. Arguing with a 14-year-old kid. Come on,
right?
Right. Wasn't even sure if that was true until I read about it. But I think that'll be a pretty sweet concert. So I'm grateful for my wife to get me back into them. I work a lot of hours, so sometimes I've gotten out and gotten to a concert and I'm exhausted. But we have a lot of fun, and I've got her. I'm not just country. I'm a big In This Moment fan. We went and saw them at 20 Monroe with another band that I didn't know I liked until I started Nothing More. It's rock. They're rock and roll. It's heavy metal. You'll hear them on Octane. But I'm sitting there and they open for In This Moment, and I'm like, holy shit, I like that song. Next song comes on. Holy shit, I like that. I didn't know who sang any of the darn songs.
Yeah.
But so I've drug her to a couple, because I do like some, rock.
Yeah.
We went and saw who opened. Five Finger Death Punch was with Brantley Dilbert.
Yep.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
They did the tour. So that was super cool because Brantley Gilbert, because he's opening for them, was country, but he added a lot of rock and roll to it. His show. Which was
he does an
awesome show. Yeah. We've seen him a few times.
When I saw Garth Brooks at Van Andel many years ago, I saw Garth Brooks one month and Disturbed and Rob Zombie.
Nice.
Okay.
So I like it all. I write country music and I don't understand why necessarily. I can't get any other style of music in my head. Like nothing rock and roll comes to me or any other style. That's the only thing that and I never used to know how to write a bridge. I couldn't figure this. So that was a challenge for me. First couple songs I came out with don't have bridges. I didn't know they just have 3 verses. I never knew how to write one. So that was something to learn. And then how much of a difference it can make in a song, to break it up a little bit or take the place of that 3rd verse. So I've had fun learning stuff too, for sure.
Awesome. Well, so for people that are hearing this or watching this, wherever platform because we're on Spotify, not that, like you said, it doesn't do a whole lot of good for anybody, unless you're getting 20 million streams a day or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Where should we send people to find your music?
So all of my best. It's Paul Sake.
Yep.
Paulsake on both Spotify and YouTube.
Yep.
I don't care which one you go to. Obviously, it's whichever one you want. I know most people have YouTube just because it's YouTube and you don't pay anything for it. On SoundCloud, it's PJ Sake, but Paul Sake on everything else. I've run everything through DistroKid, so you can pull my songs up on TikTok or Instagram. Actually, a number of them have been used on TikTok, for videos. But again, I make sure because a personal thing, I don't pick any options to let me monetize anything. Because again, I don't feel right because the whole thing isn't mine. But you can go on. I've got everything up to date, downloaded on Paul Sake channel on YouTube and Paul Sake on Spotify. And then if you guys that listen to this podcast, if you do listen to it, one thing I'd like to start getting, I've gotten likes, I've gotten people that go online, but I'd love to have some feedback. If you hear a song and you like it, tell me, and then tell me why you like it. That's something that really encouraged me when I start. So when I start, I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent, but when I started writing and getting the songs done, I don't want that family encouragement where they're just going to pat you on the back because you're an ugly kid, but it's your mom, so she doesn't think you're ugly. So I would actually I'd get a song done and I would send it to people that I knew that liked country music and may like a particular song because like one of my buddies had he had a great relationship with his mom and she had passed. So I sent him Mama and I didn't tell him anything about it. Say, hey, no, you love your mom. Tell me what you think about the song. I shit you not. A half hour later, he calls me and I said, what's wrong? I knew he was crying. He says, I'm sitting out here on my patio. My wife comes out and says, what are you crying for, Mark? I said, you got to sit down and listen to the song. And he started crying again, talking to me. And he goes, you got to tell me who wrote it and who sings it. you know, whose song is that? It's on Spotify. Where'd you find it? I said, actually, I wrote it. And he said, get the fuck out of here. He's got that rebel voice. He goes, get the fuck out of here. Pack your bags. Get down to Nashville. What are you doing selling motorsports? Or I'd write the songs about like Precious Girl and My Angel, or about songs that, My Angel's about going through a divorce, and I blew it. It was my fault. Too young, immature, wasn't paying attention. Precious Girl is about not paying. You don't realize what you have. You're not looking at the girl standing next to you. You think the grass is greener. And so I sent those to either people going through a breakup or just been through, and say, I did the same thing. What do you think of the song? I thought maybe it'd touch, you know, and I'd get this great feedback. And then I would tell them I wrote it. But on my platforms, if people go on and listen to them, give me some feedback. Let me know what you think about it. Good or bad, I don't care. I mean, let me know what you think could be changed, or if you like it the way it is. And then obviously share. You know, and if I'm sure you have musicians in the state of Michigan that watch your show, or if you've got any local artists that maybe they don't write their own music and want more songs, or would like to collaborate, or want to listen to my songs, and just filter out the music, filter out the vocals, listen to the story. And if you want to get together, if anyone wants to get together, man, I would be honored. I'd be honored to help work on stuff that they maybe are stuck on, or I would be honored to let somebody see what they can do with a song and have fun with it. I would humbly appreciate that.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, we'll make sure we link your YouTube in the bio on this episode when it releases, so people can just click straight through to that. You guys make sure you're giving them a follow, even if it is on Spotify, and give them some feedback, comment on his videos, and let them know what you think of it.
I think on Instagram, I think it's PJ's sake. Because I had to link that with my Facebook page. And then, man, I would absolutely love, and I'm sure a lot of people say this, but I mean it. Man, let's get together for a concert, or if you're coming down to Grand Rapids, there's a lot of shows up here, down here for you guys. We might come up there and go parachuting one day. I know it's beautiful. Let's do it. But I would be honored. I'd love to personally meet you guys in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would love to share a beer or a shot of Jack or whatever. At a concert, you know.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, and if you guys ever come down, man, even if I don't have plans, I mean, if you guys ever come down to Grand Rapids, I mean, like I said, Van Andel intersection, anywhere, give me a heads up. And even if it's not on my calendar and I have time, like I said, I've had Dean Armstrong come down from the Bowl, and we go hang out at concerts, you know, at the intersection stuff. I'd love to meet my wife, and I would love to have you guys down. And hang out at a concert would be amazing to me. I would very much enjoy doing that. And do you know that your partner kind of looks like Kurt Gibson? Little teeny bit. I should send you a jersey to wear.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, man. Yeah. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
And you look like Dennis Eckersley.
Kurt Gibson, you know, maybe what?
Daily.
I've never heard anything but good things about the guy from people that I know that have met him personally. You know, I've got a childhood trauma tied to that man.
No, I get it.
And so
I hate Michael Jordan.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could probably meet Kurt Gibson and I'd certainly shake his hand. I wouldn't be a dick to him, but I would still tell him, I still hate you for that. Like, I still hate you for that, you know, but at any rate, we're going to wrap this episode up. Paul, don't go nowhere when we end this. But we'll catch you guys next time on the Y'all Need Music podcast. Make sure you go follow Paul on Spotify, on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud. Make sure you're commenting on his songs and giving him some feedback. If you're an artist watching, you guys know what to do. Hit him up and collaborate with him. And until the next time.
Y'all Need Music.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you to listeners. Thank you to you too. It's been, I love it. I appreciate it.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Catch you next time.